Yeah, and how many men are conditioned to be great providers from the time they're little, and that's where they hide. They hide in achievement. All their shame, all their guilt, all their pressure from being a little kid, the environment they grew up in. You see it. You see them overeating, addicted to alcohol and drugs, addicted to gambling, addicted to porn, addicted to overachievement and working crazy fucking hours. Because that's all they can control.
Yeah.
Everything else is out of control. Their family life spiraling out of control. Their health spiraling out of control. Their spiritual doesn't exist. And we're suffering in silence.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that 100%.
But how do you get out of that? It's simple. You get exposed to people that are playing the game at a different level. And through exposure, you face your fucking truth. And you look in a mirror. Like, I could lie to you. I could lie to my significant other. I could lie to friends. I could lie to every stranger on social media. But I can't look in the mirror and lie to myself.
Yep.
Like, I know the fucking pain. I know the truth. I know where my trauma is coming from. And subconsciously, I wonder, why the fuck did I just explode on the freeway and become a fucking psychopath, racist piece of shit, screaming at myself in the car, right? Because somebody cut me off. And you're like, what just happened? And that's a subconscious reaction from shit you've been carrying around your whole life. That pain. A poor waitress brings me the wrong meal and I light her up in front of my friends. She's making minimum wage, and now I'm the bad guy because I can't control myself. My son doesn't listen to me, and now I'm being mean to a little kid. This is what I mean by men suffering in silence. And the only way out is through extreme ownership and really getting exposed to next level thinking. And then taking that extreme ownership and going and putting in the real fucking work that we avoid our whole lives. Right? And this happened to me last year. This is the only reason I'm talking about it right now. And when you really hit rock bottom, and I'm not talking about like your business is not doing good or your relationship sucks at the moment. I'm talking about real fucking rock bottom. Like the place you go where you realize rock bottom has a basement.
Yep. Where you think there's not a possible way that I could get
like you can't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
Everything is just awful.
Yeah.
The moment where people make decisions to either kill themselves or not. When you get there, you start to face the fucking truth. And people normally, at least guys like me, like you can slap me, nothing happens. You can knock me down, nothing happens. I get ran the fuck over, all of a sudden I'm like, what just happened? I'm ready to make change. And when you get really at your lowest and you finally make the call to go put in the work, you realize that I can't be a great dad. I can't be a great spouse. I can't be a great leader in my businesses. I can't be a great friend or partner, and I can't have a great relationship with God because I can't give what I don't have for myself. And until men realize that you want to be powerful, it has nothing to do with your money. It has to do with your energy. And until you unconditionally love yourself, which only happens through putting an insane amount of personal development and work on healing the trauma.
And admitting that there is trauma.
Yes.
That for me was a major turning point. I mean, I've dealt with some of the things that you're saying to me right now. And for me, oftentimes it was just hard to admit that the problem even existed or to find out where it came from. That's the other thing is if you've got trauma can date back years in your life and not even know where it came from. It's like, oh, I've got these behaviors where maybe I've got 2 or 3 things in my life that are really going well. And I just kind of focus on those. But then there's these other 2 things that, hey, you said I'm addicted to porn. I can't stop gambling. I can't stop eating. But that's just my thing. Maybe I'm just doing that because I'm addicted to food or I'm addicted to sex. Usually there's an underlying reason why that's happening. Finding out what that is. And oftentimes, like you said, personal development, therapy, seeing a professional, getting around people who are succeeding in those areas. I had a real problem getting around mentors who I, didn't necessarily think were doing really well in business. And I would oftentimes judge them for that. I'd be like, okay, I mean, yeah, you're a spiritual leader in this, and that, and that's great. But at the same time, I don't know that I really want to spend time around you. I mean, you have not done these other things that I personally value. That's wrong. And that's a big disservice to yourself to view people inside of those small landscapes. I mean, it's taken me a long time to really learn about myself, that I had past trauma that was making me think and perceive human beings in this way years after the trauma was done with. And human beings are funny. We carry that in our minds. We carry it on our bodies. We physically carry trauma that has to be oftentimes released through all kinds of weird things. I've done meditation, with like a therapist. I've done all kinds of stuff to really dig into those past childhood or even young adulthood traumas that can really change you and not even know that it's happening.
And trauma gets you stuck in certain places of your life too, where, you don't really develop beyond that place. Like if you've had a lot of people that have had trauma in the past, they're stuck in like their 13-year-old self or their 15-year-old self or their 20-year-old
when
self.
the trauma happened to you.
Yeah.
You nailed it. And here's the thing that I realized. If you would have asked me, did you have a good childhood? I would have said, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Exactly. Yeah.
Because we become great at compartmentalizing and burying the pain. Mm-hmm. And that's how we survive. That's why a lot of entrepreneurs are great entrepreneurs. We get good under pressure because we can compartmentalize and bury like the pros.
Yeah.
And I jokingly say, like, I would have been a great serial killer because I can literally turn off empathy in a second in survival mode. People that come back from doing really horrible things in the military, if they go to war or something like that, and now they're carrying around PTSD. All the things that you're saying, Brandon, like the gambling and the addictions and all that stuff, that's just the output, right? The input is the pain. And what I realized is until you go deep and you go get professional help, and it could be breath work, it can be EMDR therapy, it could be horse therapy, animal therapy, it can be acting therapy, it could be group therapy, it could be one-on-one therapy, it could be all the therapies.
Yeah. Because
it is a journey. Right? How do you, if I was to ask you, like, how do you unconditionally love yourself? You'd rattle off something and you might be partly right, might not be right at all.